Hello there and welcome back to my channel. As a teacher, you may love Valentine's Day.
I will not be your Valentine.
Or you may be secretly drafting your breakup letter in your head because every holiday feels overwhelming. Either way, I'm gonna share 5 super easy Valentine's Day activities you can use in your classroom this February that are low prep and super engaging for your students. First up, we have Random Acts of Kindness. In case you didn't know, National Random Acts of Kindness Day is February 17th, so just a few days after Valentine's Day. That does fall on a Saturday this year, but you can always celebrate it that entire week leading up to it, which would include Valentine's Day. There is a Random Acts of Kindness Foundation, which I didn't even know existed, but I will link the website down below. On their website, they have tons of ideas, free activities, free lesson plans that you can go on and check out, and that may give you a great starting point. To go along with that, I recommend reading the book Somebody Loves You, Mr. Hatch. I don't care what grade you teach, this is such a heartwarming story. In summary, Mr. Hatch is an older gentleman who just goes about his day. He does the same thing on repeat. He doesn't talk to many people. They just kind of leave him be. Suddenly, he gets a special delivery from a secret admirer, and it's a big box of chocolates. And it completely changes him. He gets so excited, he feels loved and special. And as a result, he starts doing some random acts of kindness for people at work, those in the community. And as a result, all the people around him start to really get to know and love Mr. Hatch. Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but it turns out that package was actually a wrong delivery. It was not meant for him. So as a result, Mr. Hatch kind of goes back to feeling very down in the dumps. But because he made an impact on everyone in the community, they all rally and throw a big party to let them know that everybody loves Mr. Hatch. So it's the perfect story to tie in with Random Acts of Kindness. A few really easy things you could throw in for that week would be a kindness tracker printable. You can find tons of these online for free, but it's an easy way for students to document and keep track of the random acts of kindness they are participating in. Plus, you could even try to work in just a few minutes each day for students to share what they're doing either with the class or at least with someone sitting near them. Similarly, you could create an act of kindness chain in the classroom, just a paper chain that displays all of the acts of kindness that students in your class have completed. To make it kind of on theme with Valentine's Day, you can make the chain out of paper hearts. The easiest way to make a paper heart is just to take a strip of paper, fold it in half, and then tuck the two ends in to form the top of the heart. You can then staple it. In order to create a chain, there's 2 basic methods that you can use. You can interlock those hearts just like you would a traditional paper chain. So you want to make sure you put one heart through the other before you staple it. Or you can actually staple the top of one heart to the bottom point of the heart before it, and that might make it a little bit easier as you go to be able to read the acts of kindness if they're written on the outside. There also is the Great Kindness Challenge. Technically, this already happened at the end of January, but they do have a website and you can always go on there and get some ideas and just, stash it away for next year. I also think this is the perfect time to tie in gratitude. There is a fantastic YouTube video called An Experiment in Gratitude, The Science of Happiness. You could always watch the video yourself and just use it as inspiration for an activity to do with your students, or depending on their age level, you might even show the video in class. But essentially, it demonstrates the impact that gratitude has not only on you as a person, but also when you share it with that person that you're grateful for and the impact it has on them. So you can have students write gratitude letters either to people in the building, that way they can actually deliver it to those individuals, or to other people in their lives. And I think it would even be really fun to give them an envelope with a stamp, so all I have to do is get the person's address and get it put in the mail. And of course, with all these activities, you can always tie in a reflection at the end where students just share their thoughts on the entire week, the experience, what they learned from it, and what they hope to do moving forward. The second idea is a digital escape room. Y'all know I love these, okay? And it's for a good reason. If you're not familiar with digital escape rooms, there are a ton of different versions online, but my personal favorite is a Google form that is set up so students can only progress through the digital escape room if they get the correct answers. The reason I love these so much is because they are super low prep. All you need are questions with answers, which means you can use this with any subject area or grade level. From there, you just share the link with students. They're gonna complete the Google form at their own pace, but they're highly engaged and having a fun time because every digital escape room has a different storyline and animated pictures and images. Now, I do have a new Valentine's Day themed digital escape room template available in my TPT store. It's called Escape Cupid's LAIR.
I was hit by Cupid's sparrow.
Again, this is a template, so you are going to insert in your own questions and answers, but I've already set up the form to navigate students through the storyline, and I've already inserted all of those fun images and GIFs. So if you are interested in grabbing that, the direct link will be down in the description box, but you can also head to my TPT store. I actually have a custom category for all of my digital escape rooms. The third idea is an assortment of puzzles, which I know sounds basic, but hear me out. There are so many Valentine's Day themed puzzles that you can still tie into academics. You can do word scrambles, brain teasers, rebus puzzles, logic puzzles, and the word that they're unscrambling, or maybe the message they're trying to display, can be themed to February or Valentine's Day, but the actual work that they're doing behind the scenes can be tied to an academic subject. For example, they may have to solve math problems in order to get a letter, and they fill in those letters in order to come up with a phrase. Now, there are also digital versions of this. I recently released what I'm calling digital mystery puzzles. If you can come up with a better name, let me know. But once again, it is a Google form, and as students answer questions, it will fill in little pieces of the picture. So by the end, the entire picture is complete. Now, these can be tied into warm-ups or morning meeting activities, as well as academics, but either way, they are super low prep. With the printable version, you just have to print it out. And then with the digital mystery puzzles that I mentioned, you just add in your own questions and answers, share the link with students, and then they complete it at their own pace. So if you are interested in those February digital mystery puzzles, I will have it linked for you down below in the description box. But again, you can head straight to my TPT store and find it there as well. Number 4 is conversation heart activities. I'm telling you, you can use conversation hearts for so many things in the classroom, and you can find activities that relate to basically every subject area. Within math, you can use conversation hearts for sorting and graphing activities. Students can create line plots, they can then answer data questions, they can generate fractions, they can use them to compare and add the fractions, you can do probability, you can use them for measurement and patterns. Truly, the options are almost endless. Within ELA, you can give students a box of conversation hearts, and they have to somehow use those words or phrases to write a story or even write a poem. Of course, you could also do this as an entire class where maybe each student gets a heart, and together you're going to write one long story that incorporates each student's conversation heart. And of course, you can then work in grammar. After students have written stories or you've written one as a class, you can go in, identify parts of speech. You can even have students create different types of sentences that follow rules. So for example, use your heart to create a sentence that has a contraction. You can do a dialogue lesson. Conversation hearts are perfect for dialogue. For science, you can find tons of STEM activities that utilize conversation hearts, whether it's tower building or trying to create the strongest structure. You can also find experiments that incorporate conversation hearts like buoyancy and them dissolving in different liquids. And you can even dig into the science behind how conversation hearts are made. I know there are some great videos for that on YouTube. And then for social studies, you could do a lesson on the history of conversation hearts, which of course then incorporates like article reading and some nonfiction texts. But you can also just use conversation hearts for general classroom activities that maybe aren't tied to a specific subject. You can use them as manipulatives or bingo markers. You can have them correlate to different discussion questions. So each student gets a handful of hearts and they have to answer each question based on the color of their heart. And you can even use the colors in order to create student groups for a variety of activities. Now, obviously, it's a lot of fun to use the real candy, but depending on school rules or student allergies,
he's allergic, but he'll get over it fast. I had to talk to you.
You may not have that option, but you can always print out paper candy hearts or even find like pre-made printable ones on Amazon that you can get in a bulk pack, or you can utilize digital hearts within programs like Google Slides or Canva. And speaking of hearts, the fifth idea is creating a heart collage. Now, you can use this in a lot of different ways, but keep in mind, you could print out a template for students or just have them create their own, give them a piece of paper, fold it in half, and cut out half of a heart shape in order to generate that heart that they use as the basis. And when it comes to creating the collage, students can draw pictures or print them out or cut them out of resources that you have on hand, or you can even create digital heart collages. Canva actually has some pre-made templates where students just have to drag in different images. And of course, these templates are customizable. So you can go in, delete text, move things around, and make it work for you. But a few ideas of how you might use a heart collage within academics. First, as a class, it's a fantastic community building exercise. You can create a big banner as a class, and each student maybe gets a portion of the heart to decorate to represent themselves, and then it's like the pieces of our heart. But you can also give each student an individual heart and then compile them all together to create a large class banner. And of course, you can tie in academics. So maybe it's books that they're currently loving or things that they loved about a recent lesson that you've done. You can fully customize it to fit your needs. Now, similarly, students can do this on their own. They can create a heart collage of things they love or the pieces of their heart, but you can also tie this into academics, as I mentioned. So students may create a heart collage for a character from a book that they've read and maybe have different words and images that correspond or relate to that character. If you want to do just text, maybe they have to create a list of adjectives for the character, they can then use a word cloud generator in order to take those words and put it into the shape of a heart. There are tons of these available online for free. I will link a few options for you down below. But that is it. Those are 5 super simple but engaging activities for Valentine's Day. If you are interested in any of those resources I mentioned, such as the CUPID'S LAIR digital escape room or the February digital mystery pictures, as well as all those different websites with free resources, those will be linked for you down in the description box. If you did enjoy this video, you got a new idea, you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you do not miss any future videos. As always, thank you for watching. I love you so much. Don't forget to put your positive pants on, and I will catch you in the next one.